Now we can call to order this meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. Myra, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Garrison is absent, Commissioner Barrett,
Here.
Commissioner Holman looks to be absent, Chair Flores,
Present.
Commissioner Water. Here. Commissioner Devane
Here.
and Commissioner Underwood Bush.
Here.
Thank you.
Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes? Does anyone have any changes to make? Make a motion to approve minutes. Okay, motion made, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sorry.
Here's a motion by Bob Mayer and a second by Underwood Bush. Okay, thank you.
Motion carried.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
We do have a visitor / public comment today. Do I read the whole name and everything? This is never
I think
happened.
he wants to speak during the public hearing, so there's a part in the script where you get to know how to that.
Okay, so then number 4, not there.
Right.
Okay. So no visitors or public comment. So now we'll take our staff report.
So you're probably gonna skip the unfinished business and then go to the new business, so 7.1, those are just sort of standing things that we can fill in 5 and 6. But
Okay.
we probably don't have anything.
Okay. So this evening, we'll have a public hearing on CA 2025-04 to consider the removal of 3 trees in Pioneer Park. The Historic Preservation Commission will make a final decision on the proposal based on the complete record, including the testimony received at tonight's public hearing. These proceedings will be recorded. This hearing will be held in accordance with the land use procedures required by the city and state of Oregon. This is a type 3 quasi-judicial procedure. At the beginning of the public hearing, staff will present a staff report that identifies the applicable substantive criteria from the city's development code, comprehensive plan, and/or state of Oregon statewide planning goals. For anyone wishing to speak on the proposal, we ask that you use the speaker cards provided. When called upon to speak, you must state your name and address for the public record. Before we begin, does any counselor wish to declare an actual or potential conflict of interest in this matter?
So I mean, no, it's not. So, Commission member Underwood Bush just looked at me and it's probably worth saying that you own property adjacent to the park.
Yeah. I don't know what the conflict of interest would be though.
Right, yeah, you don't stand to gain in any material way from this, proposal.
Not unless they give me the wood.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It just says actual or potential, and then that's just whatever other people's perceptions could be. I had to do it too, so they did Brad's building. Cause I live next door. So do I have to read the if yes part then?
So yeah, I think it's like the bottom sentence or something related to potential conflict of interest, is that right?
It's a paragraph. It says for both types of conflicts, please announce the nature of the conflict into the record. For actual conflicts of interest, the official must not participate in discussions or vote on this matter. It is recommended that he or she take a seat in the audience so as not to be tempted to speak in his or her official capacity. For a potential conflict, after announcing the nature of the conflict, the official may participate in any discussion and vote on the matter.
Perfect, so it's a potential conflict, you don't stand to gain materially.
So is that enough?
That's it.
Okay. So open hearing. I will now open the public hearing for CA 2025-04, the removal of 3 trees in Pioneer Park. The hearing is opened at 5:35 PM on September 15th, 2025. May we please have a staff report?
You bet, so this proposal seeks to remove 3 trees in Pioneer Park. There is an arborist report attached to the staff report that states in the opinion of Alter Tree Service and a certified arborist, these 3 trees are in danger. Now, the criteria to evaluate this is provided in subchapter 59.110, which details the findings necessary for the proposal. The first one is that a certified arborist has shown that the tree is a hazard or the tree is causing damage to a commercial or the tree is causing damage to a commercial or residential structure. This instance, based on the report provided, there is sufficient evidence to consider these trees a hazard in Pioneer Park. Now, if you go to page, let's say 19, Myra, of the packet, we can sort of start seeing some of these things and what the arborists considered a hazard. Now, I will say that this is before you folks because the Pioneer Park is considered a historic site in the historic district. There are a number of trees that have been classified as historic trees on the historic tree list. Now, the first one right here, what page are you on, Myra?
I really go to 18.
You mean page 9? There is no page 9.
Oh, yeah, no, page 9 is what I meant.
Page 9.
Oh, go to page 10, I'm sorry, go to info.
Okay.
So this tree is what's classified called tree, I think A or tree 1 in the staff report. You can see that this tree has a large wound right here where that was essentially a branch at one point, and that branch has fallen off because of that. The arborist thinks that the site that tree in particular has the potential of having decay and disease enter the tree at that site. That wound is fairly high up on that tree. You scroll down just a little bit there, maybe to the next page. You can see, I want to say that that's the wound right there, and this tree is directly adjacent to a residential house. To the south. This tree is south of the house to the north. If it fell north, it has the potential of impacting that house. That house is not a historic site or anything like that, it's just a residential home. But it is fairly close to that house. The second tree, and you can go to page 13, Myra. When you look at this, you can see there's a hole in the base of the tree. And a large wound right here. Now, the arborist in this instance thought that potentially this hole was harboring rodents and that the wound has the potential again to bring in disease and decay into the tree. This tree is directly at the entrance of the park. When you sort of look at the park, there's maybe a series of trees right in a row. It's sort of the one to the right. You go out and you can see the hole that they're discussing there. And so those are 2 oak trees that are specifically the third tree is a maple. Now the maple is sort of sitting up on, if you've been in Pioneer Park, it sort of slopes down toward the creek, toward Ash Creek. This is not one of the trees that's listed on the historic tree list. It's a mini branched maple tree. And there is some, just. You can see that the tree is dying at the top of the tree, like about, well, I mean, the report itself says, 50% is dead from top down, and you can see actually the dead portions of the tree, out there. So I did go out and just verify the representations made in this report, and I can see what they're talking about. The two oaks in particular are approximate either to infrastructure or a house. And so if they were to fall, they would have the potential of damaging something. The third one is farther away, but again, if it's dying, that's a potential hazard to people visiting the park. So based on all of that, it definitely meets the criteria. In number, N 59-110, there is a suggested condition is that, the applicant shall remove the trees, grind the stumps, and replace each of the trees with a new tree. The applicant is, who is the city public works department, is completely fine with that. So based on that, my recommendation is that you approve this with one condition. Are there any questions of me?
Clear, two, question.
I have some questions.
Three.
Probably not one, two, four.
Okay, anybody who has a question, happy to answer.
Catherine, why don't you go to the start of your.
On the one on, I believe it's tree 2 that has the multi-role, they're taking the whole thing out, correct?
Right.
And then. What's the timeline to replace them? And what's gonna be put in there?
Do you have a preference on what's,
Well, white oaks preferably,
so replace it with the same species of tree?
yeah.
That you can modify the condition to say that the second one, the multi-stem one, is a maple, as I said.
Oh, that's right. There's the main-
So. I don't know if putting the maple back in there makes sense.
I mean, I would be fine with it, I personally would just like to see more oaks, we've actually lost a few.
Yeah.
In the last 30 years, probably 10 trees altogether, so. I'd like to see some of them being replaced, which they've never been replaced before. And the stumps have never been ground down before, they're just all kind of sitting there rotting and attracting insects.
Right, so you can modify that suggested condition 1. With, I mean, you could say with a new tree, or you could say with, I mean, with the same species of tree. In the case of the oak or another tree for the maple, or you could say oak for all of them.
Alright, I would do that.
So I mean, you could, so page 6 has that suggested condition. If you look there. So it says the applicant shall remove the trees, grind the stumps, and replace each of the trees with a new tree. That is similar in species, or that is the same species. Yeah.
Liz,
I know the white oaks are in decline, so I would agree with Catherine that replacing them with the white oaks would be good.
Yeah.
Is the walnut tree? I don't know.
it's early white oaks and a maple.
Maple, excuse me, the third, tree number 3 is a maple, correct?
Yeah.
The maple tree, does it have to be cut down completely? Can we just take it down to the stump so that it has potential to regrow? So I'm under the saying that there is potential for that, or is there too much liability with having like half of the tree? Or is the rock too low, is it rock too low in the tree?
What,
No,
It's the top, yeah.
yeah, so what, I mean, what I would do is just plant a healthier tree.
A healthier tree. Cause I imagine that taking the tree down below where it's dying would probably save the city a substantial amount of money versus a removal.
My understanding was tree brie had damaged roots.
Damage trees, root damage on west side of the tree parts. So yeah, it sounds like it.
So it's more than just the top, okay.
Yeah.
And I'd like to ask another question, because I was walking by IAS the other day and I noticed that the huge tree is gone. And so, so like, so what's the perspective here that this is in front of the HBC, but that one wasn't?
That one
That-
fell,
Oh, it fell.
that one fell over.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The big one on.
The corner.
On the side,
It's in the
On the
last
side.
on the
Well,
side.
Do you have any perspective on that?
Yeah, well, that would have been a historic tree as well.
But it did fall.
I don't know, I didn't,
Never
There was
saw
one
that.
that fell.
There was one that fell some time ago.
In the summer.
This is most recent.
Yeah, we don't
Like,
trees fall.
they're
That's
cleaning
what
it
I
up.
what's that?
Trees don't fall in the summer.
Yeah,
But
I mean, not really.
they're just cleaning it up. So I'm just curious to why that one, so I know for future, why one would come before the HBC, but another one wouldn't, you know.
yeah, I don't know, I'll look into that.
That's all I have.
Well, what I have a question about is this looks like it's pretty costly. Is this gonna come out of the city budget? Is this gonna come out of the city services division of the budget? That city services that covers the library, the museum and the parks? What budget line item is this gonna pay for?
I'm not certain where the budget this is gonna come from, I imagine, a tree hitting the house is more costly,
Or falling on a child.
or, yeah,
Who's that?
Well, the reason I'm saying that is that the budget, I think, is about $86,000 for all three areas, the library, the museum and the parks.
so speaking of the budget is beyond the purview, this is an application before you based on the criteria that you folks have.
But don't we
Your
get-
criteria is subchapter 59.
Don't we get to talk about costs too? Aren't we supposed to be responsible about that?
No, there's operations and then there's policy. You're sitting and there's quasi judicial hearings. You're sitting right now as a quasi judicial hearing. Which means you're acting as a judge. Leaving a quasi judicial hearing to ask questions of policy is not appropriate at this stage.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Question.
Okay, my question is, do we have a representative from the department?
We do not, the application was submitted by Jason Bransky, who's our public works supervisor. I told him I would try my best to represent it,
My question is, all it says is to, replace it with another tree, doesn't say the size of the tree. And it doesn't say the care of the tree for, let's say, the first 2 years. And any homeowner knows that you have to supply some health benefits to the tree. And it's for the first growth. And just sticking a tree in the ground and then walking away from it, especially in an area where there's a park. And it can get knocked over by a kickball. Do we put once you do plant a tree in there, are they going to go ahead and put a fence around it? For a couple of years to let it have some stability?
I didn't ask that question, again, that's a completely appropriate condition to add. That you have some assurance of long-term, success. True.
I have another question. What's the timeline for these to be taken down?
I'm not certain about that.
I think it'd be better now than in spring when we have birds nesting. And other wildlife, like to try to avoid. disturbing them as much as possible.
Any further questions? Okay. We wish to hear from everyone who's interested in this proposal. Please limit your comments and questions to 3 minutes in length, and remember to state your name and address for the record. Jordan Perez.
Hi there,
Hi.
Jordan Perez, I'm the Executive Director of the Lucky Watershed Council at 165 D Street. I don't know if this is the appropriate here, so it sounds like there's different discussions happening in this. I just wanted to enter our recommendations, basically, that if you were going to have them replaced, that they were going to be replaced with native species. Most likely, Oregon white oak, exactly what you mentioned earlier. So, and in terms of the maple, the big leaf maple, both of those being species that would have great longevity, they would have beauty and shade back to the park for future generations that would have that in the community. And their proximity to the riparian area of Ash Creek, that they would also enhance basically any loss of habitat for native species, pollinators, wildlife, things of that nature. So, yeah, and I'm not sure, again, if this board would actually be able to do that, but it sounds like you can recommend to add a condition that it's replaced. So if doing so, our recommendation would be that you consider it, the verbiage saying that it's replaced with a native species.
So with that, what would you recommend, how old the replacement tree would you put in there for its?
Just due to, well, I guess you can't really get anything that's instantly gonna have shade, but so for like your concerns with taking care of it, so to reach a free to grow state of its own, you would need to cage and protect it from being preyed upon by deer, things like that. Deer browse. We do quite a lot of planting and restoration along the Ash Creek corridor. Early on, we did not protect against deer, and that was something that happened. That they were basically eaten. So getting a tree that is larger is going to be something that is going to be out of that kind of like delicate size.
So what are we talking about, years, and like 3 years old or? 5
Yeah,
years
something,
old?
so you
What?
could, we tend to deal in restoration, so under grant funding, so we go with bare rootstock plants, and we're getting much smaller with a long-term investment. But if you're trying to instantly restore it, I would say something that is, you would go all the height and diameter. So I would say something that was closer to at least 6 feet tall, and with a trunk diameter of probably upwards of 3 inches. So, I mean, it's gonna be a more expensive tree at that point, and then it's going to require probably some verbiage written in there about long-term care, like you were mentioning there, required watering and things of that nature. So for return on, to make sure, you're just gonna have to and have more requirements, I would say, to make sure that it would survive.
So this time of year, what would be
I would not-
the latest?
It's not the time of year right now, is not good. That's why we're just getting into the time of year. So you would want it planted in the like fall, winter, this during the rainy season. So that is the time to plant the tree. So ideally, going later, closer to like say November. And planting November through March would be ideal, to make sure that you're gonna have the best potential for it to survive, probably on the November, so keeping it in this year, this calendar year.
I have a question too. So I'm intimately familiar with big leaf maple root structures and how large they get. I'm not as familiar with the Oregon white oak. Do they also spread like the big leaf maples? Are they more of a downward motion? I'm just curious.
I'm not 100% sure, they would both be native to there, obviously they're already there, this area, so just depending on the past management of the land, there, use of the land, but I believe that the root structures would probably be very similar to both trees, yeah.
And those would
A
be,
wide spreading.
okay, and those would be, it would be okay, like, obviously those trees are there.
Yeah,
So it'd be okay to replace them, we're not gonna like, it's not like that area is not good for those trees and that.
yeah,
part of
that
the-
area is ideal, for those, the big leaf maple and the white oak. White oak prefers slightly drier, but because of where Ash Creek is in relation to that, it does sit down lower. Than the park space, so the soils there would be dry enough for the oak, and it's kind of ideal for both of them there, so, yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, does staff have anything else to add or respond to based on the testimony?
No, I mean, you folks could say, like I said, you could say based on that with a similar species tree, you know. And that would be fine at the end of condition one. You might wanna add a sentence saying, something about the success of the tree, or it could be a second condition. The applicant shall ensure the longevity of the tree. Yeah, I mean, if you say longevity of the tree, any sort of mistake that's made. We can essentially go back and the tree does die and say, well, you didn't do it right, so. So we could do that as well, so.
So then if the motion was something like. The applicant shall remove the trees, grant stumps and replace each of the trees with a new tree of the same species to be planted. Between November and March and protected by caging or something like it. Would that be a sufficient motion?
Yeah,
Deer resilient.
you could say something similar, I wouldn't say something like it, but that's just.
I was like native species would be. Or
Well, but he's been saying basically put the same things in. That's what he's
he agrees that the two that were there are native species, but my take from what he said is as long as they're native, his first request was native species. Or do you wanna be more specific, is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, sure. Plans were changed, you know, we're adding things, so let's be as specific as we can.
Do the commissioners? Do the commission members have any questions of the staff? Okay. And now declare the record and hearing closed at 5:59 PM on September 15th, 2025. Do we have a potential motion?
The applicant shall remove the trees, grind the stumps and. Oh. I make a motion. Yes. Alright, the applicant shall remove the trees, grind the stumps, and replace each of the trees with a new tree of the same species. To be planted from November to March and to be protected by caging. Or something like that, especially protecting it from deeper. So,
Do we have a second?
Second,
So I would just clarify, I move to approve the application with the condition just read. That's how I would,
You want us to say it again?
well, I mean. So the motion was essentially just the condition, and so I think I move.
I should do the whole.
Yeah. Well,
I move to approve the motion as. Of the same species, or as the applicant shall remove the trees, branches, and grind the stumps and replace each of the trees. With a new tree of the same species, to be planted from November to March. And protected by caging or something like it, especially protected from deer. Okay.
You said you wanted to be more specific from native species. Are you okay with saying?
Same species, that's what they said.
the same ones are native.
Okay.
So do we have a second?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
So we do have a video if you wanna watch a video, if you don't wanna watch a video, that's fine as well.
How long is the video?
I don't think I wanted one. Fred feels well.
Um,
Yeah, I say we let Fred go.
That's fine. I mean.
That's up to Jen, because Jen's the chair.
Right. Yeah, we don't do it well.
The last 2 weeks of school have been a long 2 years, so I'm okay if we don't watch the video tonight.
As long as we can watch it later, right?
Yeah, as long as we can watch.
Maybe
it.
for the next meeting,
good.
We-
when you feel better.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so is there any other discussion or information that we need to discuss? I will take a motion for adjournment.
make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at